University can be some of the best years of your life, but it can also be some of the worst. Partying, nightlife, motives, friends, boys, girls, everything in one. Well, that's what it's known for, right? But also on the other hand, you have loneliness, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. Now me, I've had the full university experience. I graduated from the University of Birmingham with a degree in economics. I lived out there for 3 years. I've seen everything, I've done everything, and I know everything. So this is the only university guide that you'll ever need. I'm going to teach you how to make friends, survive nights out, pass your exams, and not go broke in the process. And you're learning this all from a man that still doesn't know how to cook to this day. We're going to break the whole university experience down to 7 segments. So this can be as useful as it is for a first year and a final year student. Or if you're doing your GCSEs and A-levels and you want to know what it's like. Or if you even finish uni and you want to relive your glory days. So these are the 7 segments I'm going to be helping you with. Settling in, academic life, money and budgeting, social life and nightlife, accommodation and living, your mental and physical health, jobs and opportunities. Let's start with settling in. Listen, this is the most daunting day that any university student can face. Your first ever day at uni. Not only are you so excited for it, but also you're so scared. These times I was in all the freshers group chats. I was trying to make friends. I was trying to find people from my area that were going to the same uni. And now looking back at it, I just wish I didn't stress. None of this meant anything. On your first day of university, just focus on doing the basics right. Just move in successfully, be comfortable with your room, say goodbye to your parents because it is emotional. You're going to be living away from them if you are living out for the first time in 18 years. Just make sure you're prepared. Freshers Week isn't the only time you guys should be going outside trying to make friends. Yes, it's important. But truth be told, there's going to be so many people you meet in Freshers Week that you never see their face ever again. My closest friends actually came after that. When I think back to my Freshers Week friends, I'm not even friends with them anymore. The only way to make friends at university is to put yourself out there. You have to think everyone else is in the exact same situation as you. They're all scared, no matter how confident they come across. They're all worried. They're all trying to impress each other. So no matter who it is, what they look like, and how intimidating it might be to go up to someone, I promise you this, the most confident looking person will still be appreciative if you go up to them and try to bust a little convo. Societies is so important. This is one way to find your type of people. There's societies for literally everything. I remember there was even a Harry Potter society, bro. You can literally find your group of people. Make sure you join your community societies. I remember I went to a few Tamil society events, Asian society. Just go to things that you think you would enjoy. These sort of things give you something in common straight away. You already have the head start. Don't just rely on your flatmates. Listen, in my first year, I had the most lovely flatmates in the world. They were so polite, so respectful, and just so lovely. But they just weren't my type of people. Like, we'd be calm, we'd say yo when we saw each other, we were all calm with each other. But there's more to life and there's a bigger group outside just your flatmates. A lot of people make the mistake of just sticking together with their flatmates or sticking together with the first person that they see and meet, and they don't actually meet their own type of people. If you do struggle settling in and you do feel a bit homesick, please make sure you contact home, whether it be via FaceTime. Try go back if you can. Don't hesitate to reach back home. Your parents, your brothers, sisters, family, they miss you just as much as you miss them. Let's move on to the academic life. I'll be the first one to tell you, lectures absolutely do not matter. You know, all university students that have graduated, we can tell you, we've probably been to a handful of lectures. I can definitely count on my hand, and it's not even an exaggeration. I've been to 10 lectures max in my 3 years of university. I managed to graduate from a Russell Group University in economics. I turned out fine. Lectures just genuinely don't matter, especially in a day and age. Obviously, it depends on your university, but in a day and age where most lecture materials, slideshows, recordings are all online, what do you really need to go to a lecture for unless it's part of your attendance? Of course, if they do not provide the materials online, then do try and go. But I promise you, bro, lectures, they don't mean anything. People often say if you skip a lecture, you're skipping the education that you pay for. I promise you, university education isn't even worth £1. In my opinion, it should be free. It's not like the lecturers at university are such an amazing standard, way better than the teachers at school. They're both human, they both just teach, they both just do their job. But for some reason, university costs money. What I would tell you though, people need to understand you don't pay for your education, you pay for the certificate at the end, which is what allows you to gain further job opportunities down the line and make your money back. You don't pay for the education. It's all an investment, it's all a business, and at the end of the day, I guess these universities need to make their money. But you skipping the lecture, don't get emotional and think, oh my god, this is worth X amount of money, you'll be alright. I can cut all the crap and tell you right now, for me, note taking didn't really work. I used to spam notes and think like, yeah, something's registering in my head. But really and truly, I just learned by reading the PowerPoints again and again and again, watching the lectures again and again and again, until something just clicked in it. And then I started doing the practice questions. Seminars are different to lectures. They're almost like school lessons. It's like a close group of people. Lectures will be pretty much your whole course in one lecture room. So it'll be about 300 people in one room. Seminars, on the other hand, will be like 15 people in a study session with one teacher. And seminars are really good because it's different from uni to uni. But at my uni, in seminars, we went through practice questions on the topic that we just done. I don't think you guys realize, especially you lot that are in university right now, you lot have AI, you lot have the resources, you lot have YouTube videos, you lot have everything. I had it all at uni as well. I had the AI, everything. We live in a time where the resources are almost unlimited, bro. So make the most out of the resources that you have. We have it a lot easier compared to like 30, 40 years ago. Now, time management is so important at university because I feel like this is what every university student makes a mistake on. I can tell you for free right now, every university student that I knew at uni, we all left our deadlines, our submissions, our revision to the last minute. We'd have like a 2-month notice, and for some reason it's the day before that we decide to lock in. And when I look back at it, that's one thing I wish I changed. I wish I spaced things out. You know, 1 hour a day goes a long way. You know, I left it until the end. There was so many times the night before an exam, I stayed up the whole night. I was hating my life. I was hating the revision that I was doing. And when I look back at it, I always, every time regretted that I didn't start earlier. It's so important to balance your time out. At university, we almost have a myth like time is unlimited. Because, you know, you go into a lecture, you come out and you just chill. That's basically what university is. You know, no one forces you to do the homework, no one forces you to do anything. Everything's done by your own will. So there's often an illusion that time is unlimited because you only do about a couple hours of lecture work or study work or library work a day, and the rest of the day is yours, and it's known for the social life more than anything. But trust me, everyone has time to put to the side to do their work, and little bits go a long way. Money and budgeting. One of the main problems that all university students go through is money. At the end of the day, we're all between the ages of 18 to 21. We don't have that much money. The most that we all would have ever done is a bit of part-time work or full-time during the summer. And unless you have rich parents, you don't have the facilities or the money at uni. I don't care who you are. You know, it's actually true. A lot of men do rely on SFE. I relied on SFE for the first 2 years of my university. You know, I had bursary that helped me as well because I come from a low income background. But the first 2 years of uni, I only got over the line through very good money management. One thing that I do recommend to all university students is please track your spending. Every single expenditure, just track it. Just know where your money is going. Because there's a lot of times, even now I make this mistake to this day, I spend some money here and there. 2-3 weeks later, I look back at my statement trying to, you know, go through everything, and I can't even remember what it was spent on. And if you don't even remember what it was spent on, chances are it was useless. Track your spending whilst you're at university because money goes very quickly. You know, one night out and you come back and your bank balance is, you're on overdraft. It happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to all of us. But with that being said, don't be stingy. University is all about experiences. If you're stingy, especially at university, you are not going to enjoy yourself. You're not going to get the full experience. A lot of the times, the man them had fun having what, £10 to their name, a bit of SFE, and vibes, bro. You have to make it work somehow. Try do some side hustles. Obviously, the easiest one, the most accessible one for anyone is part-time jobs. Whether you're a guy or girl, try to get a job in your city, in your area, anything that just helps the income. I salute everyone who has a job whilst doing university because it's not easy at all. There's even online income ideas. This is what helped me be lit in my final year, innit? In my final year, the TikTok creator program came in. I'm making a whole salary whilst I'm at uni, bro. I was the most lit guy from 2023 to 2024, and it felt nice, and this is what I do for a living now. But guys, honestly, try to find an online income. You know, there's a lot of university students that I knew, they had their own Shopify stores. Some done even drop shipping. It's not even saturated, bro. Some man were doing that. Some man had clothing brands. You get me? People had their own little hustles. You know, guys, a lot of guys cleaned up by just being university barbers, bro. And that helped build the clientele. That man cleaned up. You're not wrong to rely on student finance. because it helps everyone, and you're not wrong to rely on even your parents sending you money and stuff like that. It happens to everyone, so do not feel guilty. If you do come from a low income background, check if you're eligible for bursary, because for me, I was part of the Chamberlain Award program at University of Birmingham. 2 racks, bro, just like that. They just slap you 2 racks, bro. Crazy. Them man bust me 2 racks for what, 3 years in a row. Them man were too generous. Social life and nightlife. Now, if I wanted to speak about this, I could speak about this for the rest of the year, bro. This is the most enjoyable part of university. This is what university is known for. This is really what you go university for, man. When I look back at it, what I miss the most is just how free everyone was at uni, bro. Like, I was in Brum, a couple of my boys were in Notts, Leicester, in and around the Midlands, bro. You just give them one call, say, yo, there's a motive here. Yeah, what? Active, say no more. Bro, the lads will be driving to Notts, doing a motive there, drive back to Leicester, do a motive there, come back to Brum, do a motive. Over the space of 3 days, there'll be like 3 different motives, and then you're at your 9 a.m. like it's nothing. Uni is meant to be enjoyed, and I couldn't recommend it anymore. Go on nights out, man. Please. You need to experience it. It's an experience everyone must have. Go on your nights out. Go with your group of friends. Please. It's all part of the process. Please. Everyone's at pre-drinks. Every single time there's different pre's at different flats. That's how you get to meet new people. Club. You know what club's like. It gets lit, bro. Afters. Sleep. Bro, this was a regular pattern, bro. Especially in first year, you'd be doing that pretty much every day. Just stay safe on nights out. That's one thing that I tell everyone, bro. If you're a guy watching this, I'm telling you this for free, and I'm telling you this right now. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna go through one ear and come out the other. Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna learn until you feel. You get me? But guys, this is advice to guys right now. At university, there's gonna be times where your manhood is tested, bro. You go on nights out, it's just full of egos. Everyone's got an ego. Everyone with a couple drinks on them. I don't care if you're 5'3" or if you're 6'9", bro. Everyone there is gonna think they're the hardest guy at the event. All it takes is a little scrape of the shoulders and guys are starting getting emotional. What? Do something, bro. I've seen fights break out just like that. Yeah? Guys brush shoulders with each other. It wasn't even intentional. And 2 seconds later, they're scrapping. Your manhood is going to be tested. And let me tell you this for free. Let me tell you this right now. Do not ruin your life for 30 seconds of glory. This is genuine advice to the man then. Let's say you get into a scrap on a night out. If you lose, bro, you just got violated. Like, it's dark. And one thing you best hope is that no one was recording or no one really saw it. If you win, yeah, cool, you won. Congratulations, whatever, you're the man. But bro, you don't know what could have happened to the other guy. You could have sparked him clean. The guy could have dropped, hit the back of his head, bro. Before you know it, that's it. You're going to jail. Don't ruin your life for 30 seconds of glory. In nights out and in scraps, there's no winners, bro. Only losers. And I went Birmingham. Yeah, this place was full of egos. Especially, you get me, there's a big Asian population that go to university. Everyone thinks they're the baddest guy there. You lot must be silly if you don't even think I got tested. Especially after I became more of a prominent target because I was on TikTok, of course. You know, naturally, guys are gonna feel a type of way. Every night out I went at university, the attention was always on me. Obviously, if you rate me, you're gonna rate me and show love. Obviously, my content is not for everyone. There's gonna be guys that feel indifferent, who feel a type of way when they see me on a night out. Obviously, everyone's entitled to have fun. Everyone is meant to have fun. But please realize there's a lot of creeps out there, bro. And that's me being completely honest. Please don't fall under the trap thinking it's university and it'll be alright, because a lot of people who move mad at universities, just in terms of girls being safe, please try and stay with your friends for as long as possible. If you do go off with a guy for the rest of the night, give your location to one of your friends. And it's just little things like that. Just make sure you stay safe. It's not a perfect world out there, and there's a lot of nasty people out there. So just stay safe for girls as well. And this is just advice as a whole. Reputation stick. University is basically like school. It's still the same gossip, unlimited news, unlimited tea. Rumors spread, news spread, everything spreads. And reputations are made, especially in the first few weeks and months of university. Do not do something mad at the start that is going to haunt you even in third year. Accommodation and living. Now, me personally, I feel like you will never get the full university experience unless you live out. If you live at home and you do commuting, I don't even think there's a point of going to university. Just do a degree apprenticeship. And this goes to a lot of London students who go to unis in London. Anyone who goes to unis in their city and they don't get their accommodation out, because at that point you're just basically doing school. The only time you're going to be at university is not in a social setting. It's in a studying setting. It's going to be at lectures. It's going to be at seminars. It's going to be in a library. And then these are the same people that complain saying the social life is dead, they can't make friends and stuff like that. It's because you're only in university during serious settings. As a student, yes, it's going to be very beneficial, but you have to remember people are human beings beneath all of that. They do care, they do want friends, they do want nights out, they do want company. So you're not going to get the full experience unless you live out. It's not the be all and end all. If you do the commuting, you could still, you get me, try and sprinkle a few nights out in. It just makes everything a lot harder. Make sure you do research on where you're staying. TikTok is freely available. A lot of people post their accommodations on that app, so you can have a little look. Make sure you get a nice place. Obviously everyone's money situation is different, but please try and get an accommodation with an ensuite, so you don't have to share nothing with anyone. You have your own little space and you're good. Do not sleep around with your flatmates. That's called flat cest. I can't lie, that's just gonna end up being long for you. There's numerous stories about people who've done that. It's ended up being dark. Cooking and cleaning in accommodation, this was a struggle that I faced. Fortunately, in my first year, I got a catered accommodation. It was an additional cost onto the rent, but it meant that there was basically like a canteen as part of the accommodation, and I was patterned. But when I did have to cook, I can't lie, Uber Eats and Deliveroo, they just took my money, bro. Uber Eats, Deliveroo, I never really cooked like that. I'd make a little pot noodle, but just try to have easy, accessible food. Have an air fryer. Air fryer will be your best friend at university. That was mine. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to cook. I just have freezer food. I just slap it in the air fryer, put maybe a little bit of seasoning, and then have like a sauce of my choice. And then that was the best meal in the world, because it was a struggle at university, I'm not gonna lie. If you don't know how to cook, don't force it. You're not gonna become a chef at university. Just have easily preparable meals. Try and learn whilst you're in the summer holidays, and I think you'll be alright. Make sure you have respect for your flat and your flatmates. Everything goes to shit because, bro, no one cares about the kitchen. You start seeing everything being dirty. Bro, food on the floor, food on the kitchen counter, food in the sink, rats everywhere. Bro, it can get dark. Just respect your flat and respect your flatmates. Mental and physical health. First and foremost, it's normal to feel down at uni. I went through loneliness at university, and I don't even know how. This was in my second year, and I literally lived in a house with all of my friends. So I was one knock away from accessing my closest uni friends. I lived with 6 of them, bro. And for some reason I was lonely. Like, I was just stuck in my room and I wouldn't leave. I don't even know why that happened. That led to a vicious cycle of me just being lethargic and not wanting to do anything, and only having one meal a day, which was McDonald's and things like that. And I genuinely don't know how it happened, but it happens. It genuinely happens. You know what I'm saying? That happened on the back of the best summer of my life, which it doesn't even make sense. There's support services on campus, obviously well-being teams and all of that, but you can use all of that. But to be honest, the best way to find your own feet is genuinely just tell a friend. You know what I mean? If you do not have friends at university, just tell your parents or tell a friend at home. Just tell someone, because they ease the pressure. And I promise you're not a burden on anyone. You are not a burden. If they're a real friend, that is not a burden. They'll help you out. Just please tell someone, because me, I made it through that phase because eventually one of my friends just clocked I was just being a waste man. My man slammed my door, he just came through it and he just helped me pattern up day by day by day. And when I look back at it, I didn't even tell my man, and I wish I told him earlier, because I wouldn't have had to go through certain things that I went through. A lot of your physical health can deteriorate. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people become attached to their rooms, they don't even step out. And then you start doing 300 steps a day, and you go from the 10,000 in school books. A lot of man, you get me, you play football in the cages, or girls who do laps around the school, and then all of a sudden you're at university, you're just stuck in your room, you're doing 200 steps a day, you're finished. Like, make sure you take care of your physical health. Walk to campus, walk back. That helps. You know, the walk to campus was insane at university. I used to do that walk a lot. Just do that. Fit in some exercise. Go to the gym. Your physical health can genuinely deteriorate, so make the most out of it. Job opportunities, internships, placements, everything. One thing you have to realize is, in today's day and age, getting a job after university is not that simple. You're not just going to get a job just like this based on, oh yeah, you got a 2-1 at uni. It doesn't work like that anymore. It's unfortunate, it's unfair, it's a lot of pressure, I know, but it doesn't work like that anymore. You need to have experience, spring weeks. Start with that in your first year. It's important. You need to have internships. Try get that in your second year. Placements. Try get that in your second to third year. You need all of these things. because employers are going to look at that, and when they rank you against other university students, and there's thousands out there applying for the same role as you, and they have different experiences, and their experiences are way bigger, way longer than yours, you'll finish. So in your first year, try and get spring weeks. It's not over if you didn't do a spring week in your first year. In your second year, try and get an internship. It's not over if you didn't do an internship. Try and get a placement between your second to third year. Even if you've done none of that and you're in your third year, there's still experience you can add to your roster. Bang out as hard as you can. Try apply to grad schemes. Try get references. Try and put any valid experience in. You have the resources out there. But trust me, getting a job is not that easy. But I wish you all the best when it comes to that as well, because that could be a very depressing post-university phase. But that's pretty much everything. I feel like I did cover most of the topics, but if there's anything you lot think I missed out, let me know in the comments. I'll try and get back to you lot. I do read the comments. Guys, just remember, you only get this experience once. University for me was the best period of my life. When I look back at it, I miss it so much. It was genuinely the best period of my life, and I get nostalgic when I look over the clips. It was genuinely amazing. Anyone who's still at university, who's about to go into university, just make the most out of it, because you only get that experience once, and try and cherish every day.